The Tiguan has been often overlooked in the crowded compact SUV segment, even though it's VW's best-selling vehicle in the US. It's not bad, but it's not great either. But for 2026, VW is trying to position the new Tiguan as a premium choice in a segment that, while practical, doesn't offer a whole lot of luxury. As for Honda, back in 2023, the CR-V had a significant reboot in the form of a new rugged exterior design and refined interior so that it better competes with the best in its segment for driving comfort. But almost 3 years later, does it actually still hold up? Well, in this video, we'll compare both SUVs' designs inside and out, pricing and how they drive. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. The front fascia is a complete departure from the current model with a redesigned grille that's larger than the previous generation, flanked by two large air inlets and new headlights that are slimmer and less angular, rounding out a really handsome front end. From the side, there are no sharp lines compared to the previous generation, with subtle sculpting through the door panels. The wheel arches, however, have been made slightly more angular with a squircle shape. As for wheels, it comes standard with 17 inches, with 18s, 19s, and 20s optional. All wheel options have been redesigned. Out back, again, it's been completely redone, featuring a massive light bar that spans the entire width of the tailgate, connecting new slimmer taillights while also illuminating the VW logo. The bumper has also been completely redesigned, mirroring the front grille's design. While the Tiguan leans towards a more futuristic and modern look, the 2025 CR-V's face takes a more traditional approach. Honda's design team has kept the wide headlights look of the previous model, but with a larger mesh grille that adds a rugged flavor shared with the Ridgeline pickup truck. The upmarket Sport and Sport Touring hybrid models also get more aggressive front and rear fascias. Honda didn't simply upgrade the body panels for a beefier appearance. The new CR-V is 2.7 inches longer and nearly half an inch wider than its predecessor. All of this makes it both longer and wider than the Tiguan. At the back, it features Volvo-style vertical taillights that make it look even more imposing on the road, instead of the horizontal-shaped ones that you find in most other SUVs. While the new CR-V is actually still very handsome in today's market, the new Tiguan looks a little bit better and stands out more in its segment. Instead of the old model's somewhat basic design, this generation is completely new. There is a layer of luxurious materials that extends from one door across the dash and to the other door to provide the cabin with a sense of coziness. Heck, VW even decided to add some American walnut wood trim to the dash to further spice things up. One downside is that there is a lot of shiny piano black trim that you will have to keep clean, but within it is ambient lighting that illuminates in a cool graphical effect with up to 30 different colors. Then there is the screens. Gone are last year's tiny 6.5 or 8-inch screens in favor of a new 12.9 inches display for low trims or a full 15 inches on higher-end models. A 10.3-inch digital driver display is now standard across the line. The new screens are a big change from the 2024 model, so they had to redesign the whole dashboard. The vents are now slimmer, but the worst change is that the physical climate controls are now integrated into the screen, which is a downgrade from the previous model. On a good note, however, is that the steering wheel controls are now actual buttons instead of capacitive. Another helpful addition is a rotary knob sitting between the front seats that can switch from adjusting the stereo volume and drive remote settings. As for the CR-V, if you've been in a new Civic, its layout and design will look extremely familiar. Fortunately, it's a very good interior. The look is clean and uncomplicated. The dash is also low and aids in both visibility and making the cabin feel spacious. All the switchgear feels high quality with tight, solid action, whether it's a turn signal stock or the highly welcome climate control dials. But personally, for that wow factor, I have to give it to the Tiguan. As for instruments and infotainment, the CR-V features an analog speedometer combined with a 7-inch screen that can display the tachometer and other information. The standard infotainment display is a 7-inch touchscreen that can use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. On the higher EXL and Sport Touring trims, the CR-V gets a larger 9-inch touchscreen and is capable of wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. As far as interiors go, here's the takeaway. While they both look good in their own rights, the Tiguan's overhaul just brings it a notch above that of the CR-V, especially if you're into tech-centric designs. When it comes to interior and cargo space, the new Tiguan is slightly longer than the previous model at 187 inches, and while the seats are all new, with more aggressive thigh and shoulder bolsters, they can feel a bit hard for longer journeys. The back seats are just as spacious with plenty of head and legroom, with the center seat integrating an armrest as standard. Cargo space is also decent, with around 28 cubic feet available when the rear seats are up or 59 with them folded flat. The CR-V has grown significantly with this generation, is 2.7 inches longer with a 1.6-inch longer wheelbase, making it identical in size to the Tiguan. All the front passengers have lots of leg, knee, and shoulder room. Headroom isn't quite as generous, but there is still enough room for most people to be perfectly comfortable. Rear passengers are also treated to more space, especially in legroom, both compared to the previous generation and to the new Tiguan. Cargo space is where the CR-V shines. With the rear seats up, you get 39.3 cubic feet, drop them down and you find a whopping 76.5 cubic feet of space dwarfing the Tiguan in both configurations. As far as pricing goes, the 2025 Tiguan S starts at $29,500 and stretches all the way to $41,200. But the trim level to get is the SE, which combines a good mix of equipment and price, but it doesn't look anywhere near as good as the R-Line models. It includes newly redesigned 19-inch alloy wheels, power tailgate, a power driver's seat, dual-zone climate controls, and remote start. As for Honda, the CR-V starts at around $31,000 and goes up to $42,250. But the mid-range EX offers the best bang for the buck, adding desirable features such as dual-zone automatic climate control, wireless smart port charging, and heated front seats. The premium package is also a worthwhile option, adding a panoramic sunroof, LED interior lighting, and a power liftgate. As you can tell, both SUVs cost around the same, so which one you end up choosing will mainly depend on styling and how they drive. When it comes to on-road performance, under the hood of the 2025 Tiguan is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that has been revised that now makes 201 horsepower, up from the previous generation's 184. This new Tiguan hits a sweet spot in its dimensions, because it's big enough that you get a spacious interior, but it's not so big that it's intimidating to drive around the city. Visibility is pretty good and you sit high for a commanding view of the road ahead. The comfort and refinement largely continues out on the highway, where the Tiguan is quiet at higher speeds. The suspension continues to deal with bumps well on the whole here, but there is some road noise to contend with, especially on the top-spec model with 20-inch alloy wheels. Lower trims are a bit quieter. The CR-V, on the other hand, uses a turbocharged 1.5-liter inline-4, which still makes 190 horsepower and 179 pound-feet of torque. Its CVT transmission does a better job at simulating a normal automatic gear changes, but it still feels a bit sluggish around town. The powertrain is quieter overall at least, and its 30 mpg combined fuel economy rating seems easy to beat. But here is what really matters. However those numbers look, they can't capture just how much better the on-road experience is in the Honda versus nearly all of its competitive set. Whether you compare it to the Forester, Kia's new Sportage Hybrid, or even this new VW Tiguan, it just shines above them all. Here is the long and short of it. The CR-V is the easy choice from a driving perspective, especially for the hybrid variant. Every other brand's compact CUV has some kind of competitive IP. Bit more space, more power, slightly better NVH, and even better looking interior. But as an all-around proposition, Honda really has this nailed despite its higher price. If, however, you want a more tech-centric interior, then the new Tiguan is your best bet.